Hello, Wiffle Nation, and welcome to the 22nd episode of the Huntington Wiffle League podcast. I'm your host, Josh Smith. With me is Greg Sowards. How many episodes has it been since you've been on here, Greg?
Probably about 100.
Yeah. Probably actually 3, but I get what you mean.
It's more like 100.
Okay. On this episode, we will be discussing the NWLA Regionals and the results from that in Michigan, the actual NWLA tournament that's going to be happening this weekend in Columbus, the London Wiffleball Tournament, which we will be participating in this weekend, and predicting what we think is going to happen with our league's last tournament of the season and who we think the grand champion is going to be for the 2016 season. Stay tuned. Okay, first things first, we'll talk about what happened in Morenci. The NWLA Regionals is something that's been going on, and it's in its second year now. Something I don't necessarily agree with. I think it's a waste of money. And I think they could just as easily maybe get 24 teams or whatever together and just have a mega tournament, but whatever. They don't come to me for the answers. So we have 4 regionals. This was the third of 4 that happened. We had New York City, which happened at the site of the old Yankee Stadium, which is pretty awesome. Kudos to Justin Tompkins for arranging that. Then we had the Wilkes-Barre, Pennsylvania regional, which I think 3 of the 6 leagues that played in that are actually from that area. It's kind of a weird hotbed for wiffle activity right now. And then Morenci, and then after that the Twin Cities to wrap things up. But I believe, and many believe, I think, that our regional was probably the most competitive regional out of the 4. In attendance, Kalamazoo Wiffleball League, the Leroy Wiffle Association, the Greater Cincinnati Wiffleball League, yours truly Huntington Wiffleball League, the Griffleball League out of Indiana, and Wiffle in Southeast Michigan, who were hosting. We're just going to talk about our games. Kalamazoo would end up finishing at first place with a 4-0-1 record, and they have a very good team. This may be the best squad they've ever had, and they're one of the original 8 leagues that have participated in every NWA tournament, which I think is in its 5th year now. So, congratulations to Kalamazoo. Best of luck in the actual tournament itself this weekend.
Go Keggers.
Our first game was against Leroy Wiffle Association. This is something that has been much discussed since the play, we've been calling it. So we ended up losing that game 3-2 after 6 innings. Patrick ran the team. He was the manager, and I mostly just coached and pitched a little bit poorly. But we came up with this idea, Jeremy Ray's our ace, and there was 3 of the 5 teams we thought we had a shot against. We knew we weren't going to beat Kalamazoo. We knew we weren't going to beat Wiffle in Southeast Michigan, but we felt we had a shot against Leroy. Maybe we could do something with Griffleball, and then we could probably beat Greater Cincinnati. So that luckily ended up being our first, 3rd, and 5th game. And, your ace can't pitch 2 complete games back-to-back. So I was like, this is perfect. We can just throw Jeremy Ray against the teams we're pretty sure we can beat and just give him some offense to back him up.
That did not work.
That did not work so well. Some of these teams surprisingly could pitch and hit the strike zone. Leroy, the reason we thought that we'd be able to handle them is because they pitched from like 42 feet or something like that, and we struggled in 2014 adjusting from pitching from 45 feet. So I was like, okay, these guys are really going to have some trouble. It was really windy too, so I don't know. Maybe the wind helped them out sometimes.
Something helped them out. Angel in the outfield, something.
Yeah. So
an umpire.
Yeah, we lost this game 3-2, and there was a play I think that happened in the 4th inning that was one of the reasons we ended up staying tied, I think at 2-2, and going into extras where they eventually momentum got on their side and they won the game. So let's talk about this play that happened. Paul Hessen, like I said, I think in the 4th inning, hit a lazy drooper fly ball close to first base. He gets to first base. He beats out the tag attempt. And once he crosses first base, when you run through the base, I think he kicked the ball or something while he was done running through the base. He didn't make a turn or anything. I'm not entirely sure that the ball touched him. It was kind of unclear. Game video is still not on the website, so I haven't gotten a chance to look at it from a better angle. And nothing's happening, so he runs to third base. The umpire calls it back as a dead ball initially, and he stayed on first base. And I was like, all right, well, yeah, a single's better than nothing. And then some arguments break out, and then they eventually call him out. This is something that I'm not really sure what the rule is in Major League Baseball. I know if you're touched by the ball and you're off base, you're out, right? But if if you're in that zone where you're running through and you're not making a turn, are you in dead territory at that point?
I think the real issue is he turned after nobody was going for the ball. He took advantage of that and he went to third.
Mm-hmm.
He went to second and then third, and then he kind of became a live runner. So if the ball did indeed hit him on the play before that, it's kind of like an interference thing, and kind of like he may have kicked it. They say may have kicked it on purpose.
Oh, they still could have called him back to first.
It's a hard call.
Yeah.
Can't blame the umpires.
I do blame the umpires, though.
I don't blame the umpires.
I do blame the umpires.
Hard call.
Now, that call basically changed the momentum of the game drastically. There's no denying that part, at least.
No.
And Leroy snuck away with a victory.
But you want to know, honestly, though, we could have played better and won the game.
Yeah, I mean, we didn't bring what I would consider an A squad. We brought what I call a squad, not an A squad.
We brought who would come.
Yeah. That's one of the problems with our league sometimes is we have such heavy turnover, and with this format change, we didn't really get to see who had the goods against fast pitch. I still think we did pretty good. There were some teams that didn't perform well against, like Wiffleball. We just didn't hit the ball. They pitched Buzia, which if you've not, he's one of the newer players on their national team. He's a good player. One that I watched a lot. I don't know how he's going to perform.
He was very accurate at the regionals.
Yeah, I don't think he was even their number one or number two pitcher.
And that's probably 75% of pitching at regionals and nationals, just hitting the strike zone. You do that enough, and people are swinging anything.
They definitely earned a spot on the team. Wiffleball only brought 4 guys. The only person I knew on the team was Jeremy Rajak. There was no Kyle Litster. I don't think Kuna was there. None of their star players besides Rajak was there. They had already qualified, so they just needed to show up and just make an appearance, basically, to keep their spot in Columbus, and that's what they did. They played pretty well, but with Leroy, they won against us, and then they whipped up on Greater Cincinnati, as we did and everybody else did that day, and that was enough for them to get into nationals. That's how crazy the standings were in some of these regionals, where somebody who goes 2 and 3 actually can qualify for the tournament. There was even, if the last regional, if some teams got whipped up on bad enough that we still could have qualified, sadly enough. But
we didn't.
Yeah, the Leroy game was a big deciding factor and wasn't enough to keep us from getting in, because the following games we did not perform very well at all until we played Greater Cincinnati. So our next game was against Wiffle in Southeast Michigan. We knew we had no chance in this.
We threw a young man by the name of Josh Smith.
Despite me saying this is a horrible idea, I had been practicing for weeks before this and not doing well on my own time, except with an occasional practice every once in a while that I would get on fire. And I had practiced all morning at a bullpen on location and was not hitting the zone. I did okay, but we had some fielding errors, and with some people...
Lots.
We had some major fielding errors. I did plenty, trust me. I 8 of the 12 runs, that's all me, baby. I gave up a home run and gave up a lot of walks, and then they got some momentum from some errors.
How's Paul doing in that girls volleyball league he plays in? He was practicing at regionals when he volleyed that.
Yeah, he smacked the ball, routine fly ball, basically, over the fence from 20 feet away from the
Yeah.
fence. It was pretty amazing, actually. We lost that game 12-2. I'm pretty sure we got mercied in 3 or 4 innings. Our next game, actually a really good game. They against Wiffleball, we lost 6-2. They pitched Bazia. Ray played well. We just didn't hit the ball well. I think somebody hit a grand slam or a 3-run home run. It might have been Bazia or Radjack that hit the home run. I'm not sure off the top of my head. Great team. I see them probably finishing in the top 8 again in Columbus. To be honest with you,
they're usually in that top half of the.
yeah. I
bracket.
don't think they've got the team to make a run to the top 4, but you never know. Never count Wiffleball out. Up next was Kalamazoo, which I know Wiffle Southeast Michigan didn't pitch the race, which would have been Bischoff. Farkas didn't make it to the regionals. He didn't have to. Excuse me. They pitched Chandler Phillips, which is the captain of the team. With a league like Wiffle and Southeast Michigan, pretty much their average player is better than our best player probably. It's a real deep league. Pretty much everybody pitches in their league because of the rotation rules, so everybody gets a chance to really polish up on their skills.
A lot of ex-baseball players up there.
Yeah. So Phillips still pitched pretty well. We took some walks. He walked the bases loaded twice in 2 different innings with no outs and then struck out the side or got a ground out or 2. So, I mean, they did pretty well. I thought that was going to be the worst beating we got. But Kalamazoo unleashed on us 14-0. We pitched Paul Hessen, who could not find a strike zone at all. The incredible amount of wind he had to throw into was not helping matters much. And, one thing led to another, and we lost 14-0. There's not much to say there. Kalamazoo would win the regional, going 4-0-1 with a tie.
Against WSEM.
Against WSEM. And just a great squad. I mean, you got Kevin Marzalak, David Ayers. I mean, you got some guys that have been playing wiffle for quite some time in Kalamazoo, and they just got a solid team this year. Our final game was against some chaps from Greater Cincinnati. This is a team.
By far my favorite team we've played against.
This is maybe the coolest team we've played against in any NWLA events, which we've been to 3 now. Met some kindred spirits, some medium pitch guys. They're like us, like
They
me
have
and
fun,
you. Yeah.
Enjoy the game for what it is.
I've been following their league now for a while. It's a great league if you're not checking them out. We would beat them 12-3. I hate to say this, but we weren't even trying after a while. We probably could have mercy ruled that game, but Ian Handy pitched a little bit.
Anthony
Stidham pitched quite well against this team, actually.
0 ERA.
Now, we weren't playing Greater Cincinnati at their best. It was a long day. This was their 5th game. We were actually supposed to wait another 45 minutes to play this game if we were going to follow the schedule, but both teams were ready to go home.
And the umpires were too.
No matter who won the game, neither team was going to qualify for nationals. We were just playing for pride at this point. Both teams were 0-4, and Greater Cincinnati, unfortunately, would go 0-5, and we would get our only victory of the day. Like I said, we pitched Ian Handy, who did pretty well, and then Anthony Stidham, who gave up, I think, all 3 of the runs that we ended up giving up.
Anthony didn't.
He didn't give up any. Okay,
No.
I got it backwards. Anthony had me practicing. I didn't know about it, and Patrick decided to give him a chance, and it turned out quite well. Good guys. We actually have Jim Bryant from that league coming to check out our final tournament. He's going to be playing on one of our teams, and hopefully we can get something going there. They come to some of our tournaments. We go to some of their tournaments. Get something going.
Good time. Close place. About $50 worth of gas to go to Cincinnati and back.
Yeah. So we went 1-4, which is not good enough to qualify for nationals. We've been to nationals twice now. Our total overall record in NWLA events, we have a winning percentage of .333. We are 6-12 overall in 3 years of NWLA events. 2014 being heads and shoulders above any other year of performance for us. We had a great squad that year. If we would have been practicing from 48 feet, I think we would have finished in the top 8, and we wouldn't have had to worry about qualifying in 2015. But hey, you never know. So, moving on, we're going to be talking about London when we come back. Talking about London. Greg, like 13 years ago, I got this email when I was still using Hotmail. I was like
Were you an online
14
stripper?
years old.
Were you an online stripper or something? 'Cause
Nah, man.
That's who uses Hotmail.
Whatever. So, I log into Hotmail. We had just started the league in Hurricane. We had our first season, and I get this email from this dude named Brian Wheeler. And he says, hey, man, cool league. Even though we weren't cool at all.
We sucked.
Yeah.
We played on a cul-de-sac that's right down the street from your house now.
Yeah, living the dream. So, I get an email from this guy, invite me to his tournament in London. We didn't get a team together. That tended to be a theme for over a decade, every year, despite trying to get a team together every year. Till last year, we finally got a team together, and then that bitch Mother Nature decided to open up the heavens.
Fuck her.
And flood the entire field. The state of Ohio just went under a flash flood, basically. Chris Galloway tried to salvage what was left of it so that the NWLA leagues that brought London teams could still have their mini London experience. As good as their intentions were, it didn't turn out very well. So this will be the first year that we get a London team together to play in actual London. So I am very excited about this.
Technically have 3 teams because 2 of the teams from our last tournament are going.
True. The Mothmen from Mason County are going to be going. They got Wiffleball fever. They're starting their own tournament in August, and most of them go to Marshall, and they're playing some intramural wiffleball, I think, starting later this month as well on campus there. So they're all about it. Dinger City, which some of those players are from Lancaster, Ohio, which is in central Ohio, they first came out and got their first taste of wiffleball last year at our HWL tournament. And I said, man, you guys live crazy close to London. Have you ever heard of London Wiffleball Tournament? Like, what are you talking about? I'm like, I can't believe you haven't heard of the largest wiffleball tournament in the world.
Maybe the largest this year it has ever been.
Yeah.
From what I'm hearing.
We're talking maybe 100 teams.
I hope so.
Yeah.
I want to see 500 guys get together. Maybe some girls, who knows, that love wiffleball.
Yeah.
Want to play wiffleball. That is awesome.
So, especially since we didn't qualify for the NWLA tournament, we really went all in for our own league to send a team. I mean, yeah, we got Dinger City, but they're not really local. We've got Mothmen.
Who won our last tournament. Thanks to Coach Greg Sowards.
Yeah. But they're not really local either. They're a few counties away. So we got a local team together. 6 of the 8 or 9 people from the Blizzard team that we sent to Michigan are going to be going, and they are as follows. Yours truly, Joshua Smith. Greg Sowards, who was a coach at the regionals, will be actually playing.
Hall of Famer.
Patrick Rail, that was the manager, he will be playing. Anthony Stidham will be playing. Ian Handy and Josh Blair. So we have 4 teams of our league represented on this team. We got Greg Sowards from Beaver Fever, Anthony, myself, and Patrick from Make Wiffleball Great Again. Ian is from Smokin Bases, and Bawlarinas player and captain Josh Blair is on the team as well. Mix in the fact that we've got Mothmen and Dinger City going up there, we have the majority of our league being represented in some way or another. at this tournament. So it's pretty awesome.
I can see one HWL team in the championship, if not two.
Yeah. I don't see that at all, but
I think it'll be
cool.
a rematch versus Dinger City and Mothman.
Yeah. So it's with 100 teams, it's very unlikely we're going to meet each other at any point. I'm pretty sure it's 3 round robin games, followed by a very long seeding process, as it should take very long for 100 teams, getting those run differentials together and figuring out
and making sure it's right.
Yeah.
Because who wants to rush and put teams against, in the wrong spot? Then somebody finds out, they get pissy, and just blows up the whole tournament.
So we do know that we don't know what our schedule is yet. They're starting to put it together. I think they finally closed off registration. They had to. We don't know who all we are playing or if we're going to know who all we're playing before tomorrow. But we do know that we are playing Swamp Donkeys first. Now, Swamp Donkeys are really cool guys. They actually came from London to play in our HWL Wiffle tournament last fall. Awesome guys. Didn't win a single game, though. I don't know if it was because we played overhand that threw them off a little bit, but they are a very serious team that doesn't take the game too seriously. Right in my wheelhouse. Love those guys. So looking forward to actually getting to play them again on their home turf.
Get to have some fun.
So that's going to be awesome. Who we play after that, we have no idea. But there's some great teams that have done very well historically in this event. Teams like the Tigers, the Bulldogs.
Played both of those last year.
Yeah, Swingers. I don't know if Kalamazoo is going to be sending their legendary Kings team or not. I'm not sure which NWLA leagues are sending a London team. It's sort of something that's been waning over the years. Half the leagues used to send a London team as well, but now it's sort of fallen back a little bit, so we're not really sure what's going to happen. But very excited to finally be participating in this event, at the event. If you don't know much about the London Wiffleball Tournament, it's not ran maybe the most efficiently for a tournament of its size, but it's a lot of fun. It's on this farm. There's like 20 different fields of play going on at the same time. There's people with canopies and coolers. There's kids all over the place. It's insane. If you want to go to a festival that's centered around wiffleball, this is it. Nothing comes close. If you want to know more about the London Wiffleball Tournament, check out our website at www.londonwiffleball.com. Now, we're going to be interviewing 3 of our teammates that will be taken to London. Anthony Stidham, Josh Blair, and Ian Handy when we come back. We now have on the line Josh Blair, captain of the Bawlarinas and teammate on the HWL Blizzard that played on the NWLA Regional team and will be playing in London. How you doing, Josh?
Oh, I'm doing good. How are you all?
Awesome. So let's get started right away. First question, are you satisfied with how the Bawlarinas have performed this season?
For the tournaments we played in, yes, I'm satisfied. We could have done better. But we've had our first tournament, we had Mitch, and the second tournament, he wasn't able to make it, so Eric took his place. And now this tournament coming up, we're gonna have a completely different team.
So your team missed last tournament. You guys have a 3-5-1 record and have 70 points in the point system, and you're like right in the middle of the pack in the standings. Do you think if you guys would have played last month that you guys would maybe be in the top 5 in the standings?
I believe we could.
Yeah.
Josh, Greg here. How do you think your team's going to do in the July tournament?
I think we're going to do good because we've got some surprise teammates coming up this month.
All right, awesome. How do you think we're going to do in London this year?
Well, since we have a slow pitch league, we're just not used to, I guess, the underhand pitch with the arc on it. So, that's going to be a little different. But I think with a slow pitch that we do in the tournaments, I think we're going to be really good.
At the regionals, you batted 300. You had a home run, 4 RBIs, 6 walks. You struck out once. You had a on-base percentage of 1.162. How do you feel about performing that well? It's pretty well performance for our team.
I think I could have done better. I don't think there's any reason why I should have been walked so much.
That's
But I mean, I got on base. I'm not complaining, but I think I could have been hitting better.
that's the monster that is the NWLA tournament style. It's walks.
And finally, this format change. I mean, you didn't play in the fast pitch format, but this format change has done a lot for us. It's kind of given us a breath of fresh air with new teams and new players. And we always seem to not be able to hang on to players year to year. Are you going to be returning in 2017?
Yes, I will be there, and I'm pretty sure maybe another guy or two for sure will be there next year.
All right, awesome. Do you have any questions for us or anything you want to tell us about?
Nope, just looking forward to the tournament Saturday and spending the weekend and laughing with all y'all.
All right, man. Thanks for chatting with us.
Have a good one.
All right, y'all have a good night.
All right. That was Josh Blair, captain of Bawlarinas and one of the players for the Huntington Blizzard that participated in Morenci at the NWLA Regionals and is on the team that we are taking to London. We're going to interview Ian Handy, captain of Smokin Bases, next. Have on the line Ian Handy. He's a ginger, and also when he's not being that, or also at the same time when he's being that, he's the captain of the Smokin Bases team that won the April tournament and robbed for the 6th consecutive time Sit on My Base a chance of a championship. He played on the regional team, the Huntington Blizzard, for the Morenci NWA regional team, and he will be coming with us on the same team to London. How you doing, Ian?
I'm doing good. And by the way, I'm quarter ginger, not full.
Close enough. All right, so let's get started. Do you think that if your team hadn't missed last month, that your team would be in a better position to contend for the Grand Championship?
Yeah, I feel like if we wouldn't have missed, we would be right up there with everybody else, of course. We just had a basketball tournament, joined in some other guys and some other stuff, couldn't make it. Kind of sucks that we weren't able to make it. Kind of disappointed about it. But yeah, I feel like we would have been in the running.
Yeah, you guys are in 4th place. You have an 8-2-1 record, an 800 winning percentage. You have a run differential of 42. You guys have performed awesome this year. And although you're in 4th place, you're about 50 points behind 3rd place. So missing that last tournament no doubt hurt.
Yeah, that one hurt pretty bad.
Ian, what's it like to go from the worst team in the league to playing on one of the best teams and winning a tournament?
Oh, well, it's pretty. I don't know. I like it. I mean, we got some new players. Picked up some buddies of mine, and they really brought it. We got Vince, who's pretty good in the outfield, and Chad Lynch, who's just a beast at everything. I mean, he can hit, he can play the field. I mean, he's just an all-around good player. Got Jay, who struggles sometimes whenever he's there, and then sometimes he's on. And got Cam Leake, who is, I don't know about that guy, but he helps out when he can.
He brings the guys water.
Yeah.
All right, you guys.
I couldn't hear you.
I was like, he brings you guys water. So you guys won the April tournament by knocking out Sit on My Base, made a lot of waves, made some noise. Everyone thought maybe this is a team that's going to be the new powerhouse. Do you think your team's got what it takes to win the July tournament?
Yeah, I definitely feel like we do if everybody comes out to play. I know that last tournament we played in, we just weren't feeling it at all. I mean, the rain, muddy field, I don't know, we just weren't feeling up to par that day. But I feel like if it's a nice day, everybody comes out to play like I know they can. Yeah, we can definitely take home.
Ian, have you figured out a way to throw a knuckleball underhand up there at London?
Not yet, but I'm a pretty quick learner. I'm sure if I just throw a couple out, I'll be able to figure it out just fine.
Well, we could really use it.
Well, I'll try my best. We'll have to warm up a little bit, try it out before the games.
Awesome. Okay, and finally, are you going to be back for the season next year?
Yeah, I'll definitely be back. This year has been great. Hopefully, get the same people back. There was next year that was on the team this year. But if not, I'm still going to be there. If I have to pick up on another team or not, I'll definitely be back.
All right, Ian, thanks for your time. We'll see you up in London.
All right, thanks, guys.
All right, thanks. That was Ian Handy, captain of Smokin Bases, the fourth-place team in the total standings in the league. He's going to be joining us up in London for the London Wiffleball Tournament on our Huntington Blizzards team.
Should be a good time. A lot of fun memories, a lot of good wiffles.
When we come back, we're going to be interviewing my teammate from Make Wiffleball Great Again and one of the players from Plain White Tees last year who will also be going with us to London, Anthony Stidham, when we come back.
We have on the line Anthony Stidham, player for Make Wiffleball Great Again, also was on the roster for the Huntington Blizzard that went to Morenci for the NWLA Regionals. How you doing, Anthony?
Pretty good, Josh. How are you today, man?
Awesome. Okay, so let's get right to it with the questions here. A lot of people don't know this, but you were on the Plain White Tees last year, which was the whipping team. What was that like?
That was for my first year in wiffleball. It humbled me to really raise the ceiling and be a better player overall. We had great players. We just couldn't get it together. And unfortunately, I come in after the All-Star break. Just couldn't mesh like we should have. I feel like that if I'd have started out with Plain White Tees and meshed with Andy and some of the other guys better, then we might not have that 0-20 record in the history books.
So not a lot of people in this league currently were around last year or before. This is one of the lowest return rates we've ever had in the league history here. So you and a handful of other people know what the league was like before this current format change. And although you didn't have a whole lot of experience in the old format, what are your thoughts on this format change now that we've had some time to kind of see what the pros and cons are in the flesh? What do you think?
I feel like it's an improvement on getting people to show up. I like it personally, but it's affected some of the guys that was able to play on Tuesday nights last year and only play during the week. Some of the guys that I really grown close to last year, Ronnie Canterbury, those guys. So for me personally, I feel like it's a great change. Getting not to sound like it's a hassle, but just to get it all over with in one day, You have a whole month to kind of recoup and know what you've done wrong and fix your issues. And really for the guys that put the stats on the web, to get them just a month to catch up and catch their breath and not have to rush around and then take stuff away from their other lives outside of wiffle and get the league caught up,
Yeah, I mean, as far being part of the machine behind the curtain that works with this league, it's definitely much better for my work-life balance to have an opportunity to take a breath after the event instead of immediately, like I had to before, start getting everything together and being up till 2 a.m. on Tuesday nights. It's just those days are over. So yeah, I agree. I definitely like having a month to get my thoughts together to prepare for the next event and recuperate from the one we just had. Okay, so another question. This one's about your team this year. Make Wiffleball Great Again has probably been the loudest team in the league. Constant shenanigans. They're actually a pretty good team. They don't take it very seriously, though. They almost got into the championship 2 tournaments ago, but sort of ran out of gas against Sit on My Base and only lost by a couple runs. Do you think that Make Wiffle Great Again has what it takes to win the July tournament?
Absolutely. Absolutely. You said it best. We have just made it more fun than about winning, and we've still done really well. I think we're coming in as the 3rd seed, maybe even tied 2nd seed coming into the last tournament, maybe.
Yeah, I think it's tied for 2nd, yeah.
So, screwing off basically all season long, we've done really well. And of course, showing up always helps with points as well. But, top to bottom, we play well. You yourself have a crazy style of pitching that really throws people off. You don't really let them see the ball as long as other pitchers do.
Right.
Patrick Rail, I'm sorry, I mispronounced his name wrong there. He hits opposite field so much that people really don't expect it, even after this long in this many tournaments. Dunk is he's a machine. Crushes the ball every time he's on up to bat. Sorry. And myself, I feel like that I've progressed a lot since last year. I feel like I'm becoming one of those hitters that pitchers are just like, oh man, here comes this little short fat dude. He likes to crush the ball. Mm-hmm. So, and then we've had filling guys. Andy unfortunately hasn't been there as much as we'd like for him to. He's a well-rounded player. Tim Harrison, who I brought with me last month, took a minute to get used to the pitching and the bat, but his fielding was on point all day. He's a great fielder. So we've got the talent, we've got the tools, we've got the people. We just need to maybe focus a little bit more in this tournament and bring one home.
Focus. Nah. Okay, so moving on to the NWLA Regionals. It's sort of becoming old news now. In a couple weeks, it's London and then the NWLA tournament itself. So we don't have much time to reflect without it becoming obsolete information. What were your overall thoughts on the NWLA Regional and our performance there?
Our performance, I kind of felt like we played starstruck all day long. There were some great players up there all the way around. But I feel like if we had buckled down and just played our ball, we'd have done a lot better than the 1-4 record reflected. And the first game always sets a tone, and there were some issues there with calls or whatever. You can go back to a bunch of different things on the day, but tone was all wrong for us from the get-go, I feel like, and something that I definitely want to experience again in my lifetime and really leave a mark in a positive way.
Sounds good. If enough teams did poorly in the subsequent regionals, there was actually a crack in the door to where we could have gotten in. But that last regional, there was a couple teams that really upset some of the more powerful teams, and sort of upset the balance to where we weren't able to qualify. But from that day, we immediately started talking about London. I wrote an article about it on the website. For like 13 years, I've been trying to get a team together for it. And this is the year that I think we're finally going to get a team together for it, and there won't be a monsoon or tornado that's going to take the fields off the map. So we've assembled the Huntington Blizzard again, 6 players from that roster in some capacity or another, coaching or player, and we're going to be going to London. What have you heard about this tournament, and what are you looking forward to about it?
I'm looking forward to it being compared a lot to our tournament we play once a month. You know, it's almost a mirror image of it, which really prepares us top to bottom. We have veterans, we have hitters, we have fielders, and the experience of the last 4 months of playing once a month on the same format really prepares us for hopefully a deep run in London. And I'm really looking forward to it. I like the team. I like our chances all the way around.
Yeah, the setup and the rules are somewhat similar. We've taken the organization of the NWLA tournament and mixed it with the atmosphere of the London tournament to create what I think is the best of both worlds. Some of the rules and the umpiring, things like that, are real wishy-washy up in London, but you're allowed to drink, and there's like 100 teams there sometimes, so it adds a whole new element. And there's nothing around you except soybean or corn, whatever they decide to plant, so it has a real Field of Dreams atmosphere to it as well. So it's almost like a festival atmosphere there, I've told people. And I've been there for years and struggled to get a team together for it seriously because everyone always focuses on NWLA. And we got the interest for that, and people still want to play, and they're not burnt out from a weekly format season. So and we're not the only ones going to be there. Dinger City's going to be there. Mothmen have said they're going to be there, so we're going to have some friends there and make some new ones.
Right, absolutely. I had actually experimented with maybe trying to put a second team out of our league to go up.
Yeah.
Unfortunately, with vacations and other family commitments, it just wasn't able to make out. But I was able to pick up with a team that's going up, and I'm really happy to go. I'm grateful for that.
Yeah. I think, like you said before, the format we've been playing this year has really prepared us. It's harder than it looks to crush a ball that's on a lob when you're used to hitting a straight ball and using the pitcher's velocity against them. It takes some time to adjust with that. That's all the questions I have for you. Do you have any questions for us?
No, not at all. I appreciate you inviting me onto the podcast, man. I'm glad to get a voice and really promote our league. I'm really proud of it, and I really look forward to the future of our league, honestly.
Yeah, no problem. We'll see you in London.
All right, thanks, man.
All right, thanks.
That's all we have to discuss on this episode. You got anything you want to get off your chest?
Just want to put a quick plug out there for our next tournament, July 23rd. Start about 10 o'clock in the morning. Miller Park. Sign up, come out, play wiffle.
That's our final tournament of the season. Whoever wins this tournament could potentially win the season. If you've been following the points system, we got 3 teams in tight contention. We have Smokin Bases in the lead with 150 points. And then behind them, at 120 points, is the Rocket Boys, a team you definitely can't count out. They've got the talent to possibly win this next tournament. And if they do that, they could win the whole damn thing. And then, amazingly, a 7-9-1 team that has been a ruckus all year, Make Wiffleball Great Again, is also tied for second place with 120 points with the Rocket Boys. So if Smokin Bases doesn't win it out, they could potentially lose the Grand Championship and not get the cup.
Every other team is statistically eliminated right now.
Pretty much. It's unfortunate that Smokin Bases, a team that did win a tournament and have a fantastic winning percentage and had played in 2 of the 3 tournaments that we've had so far this year, is not in closer contention. But if you miss a tournament, you're missing points.
It's a real shame that the Mothmen weren't there from the beginning because they're really good players.
Or Dinger City.
Yeah. If they had performed more, I mean, this is a different conversation. We may be not even talking about sitting on my base or anything.
True. But we'll cross that bridge when we get to it on the next episode of the podcast. So July 23rd is our final tournament. October 8th is the next wiffle ball event that we're having at all.
The last one of the year.
Yeah, that is the second annual Hallow Wiffle Tournament. Benefits the Hoops Children's Hospital at Cabell Huntington. Great cause. 100% of the proceeds go to that foundation to keep that hospital going to do the great work that it does for local children.
Support the kids.
So we're hoping to get some sponsors, maybe get as many as 20 teams. We're going all out this year. Patrick and Bradley are working together on making a special event, so it's going to be awesome. So get your teams together, spread the word, and let's help the kids. So without further ado, I don't think there's really anything else to discuss.
Wait. Sometime in August, we will be producing our second episode of Wiffle Talk Hour.
No, that's right. If you haven't seen our first episode yet, we created a Sports Center or Baseball Tonight-ish show based around our league with a desk and a backdrop, green screen, suits, ties, the whole deal.
The next one's going to be a blast. Way better.
We're going to have 3 tournaments to cover and London with exclusive interviews. We've learned some lessons from the equipment and from mixing, so it'll probably not spend so much time in production and actually get to the internet a lot faster. So we're looking on making some gains from that last episode. And then maybe do a third episode after Hallow Wiffle. We're not real sure yet. We ideally wanted to do one after every tournament, but it obviously didn't happen. So there's also that to look forward to sometime in August before our next podcast. So hit us up on Facebook and Twitter. We're at Huntington Whiffs on Twitter. You can find us on Facebook. Go to our website, huntingtonwiffleball.com. Look us up on the internet. Go to www.netscape.com. Look for us on Alta Vista. Use dial-up. If you got any more time left on your AOL discs, it's time well spent on our website.
It will take you a year to load it, but worth it.
Yeah. Signing off, I'm Josh Smith with
Greg Sowards.
We'll talk to you soon.